Well, mixed martial arts is primarily, as it sounds, a mix of martial arts. It uses Muay Thai, Taekwondo, karate kicks. It uses wrestling, both Greco-Roman wrestling and standard wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Vale Tudo, which is submission grappling. So, and then of course traditional boxing. So it kind of combines those basic martial arts together.
It's a fighting style that actually incorporates all the different disciplines. There's no such thing as a martial art that can't be used in a mixed martial arts. Truly, it's mixed of everything. There's no such art that is not usable in the cage, at least to some extent.
Mixed martial arts became popular in the Tulsa area, I believe, really popular in the early 2000s. Actually, UFC 4 was held in Tulsa in the mid-90s when it was still in its infancy, but in the early 2000s, it really started to gain popularity as the UFC gained its popularity. So.
Really, after the first couple of UFC events in Las Vegas, Tulsa really kind of became a great place for MMA, actually. A lot of smaller gyms kind of found their way here and just started training people. And, I mean, it was a great place for people to come and start this sport. What I think has made it popular is like some of the smaller events here in Tulsa. I mean, back in the early 90s and 2000s, small events like XFN, XFL, Rumble on the River, stuff like that. I mean, those are really kind of what started it out here. I mean, those events in the early 2000s started small, and then they've grown to some of the biggest events here in Tulsa and have even inspired some of the smaller, maybe like kickboxing or boxing promotions here in the region.
Probably the name that comes to mind for most people is Mikey Burnett. He was on the UFC, The Ultimate Fighter, I believe. He kind of brought Tulsa to the mainstream as far as MMA goes. But also Matt Wyman, who was with Tulsa Top Team. He was in the UFC. David Heath. We have actually quite a few little, Tulsa fighters that were in the UFC that made it popular, but Mikey Burnett probably comes the biggest to mind.
Really the name I think of when I think of MMA here in Tulsa, I think of Gerald the Hurricane Harris. He's really one of the popular stars here in Tulsa. He fought in UFC, all some of the smaller events. Started out here in Tulsa and kind of brought it here to this area a little bit.
Oklahoma's got the best wrestlers in the country and some of the toughest football players that also make an easy transition. I've known several football players, OU players and OSU players, to make the transition over after college. And then, of course, you got your country boys, like myself, that started martial arts when they were a kid and didn't quit doing it, and we're some of the toughest guys around, I think.
Mixed martial arts, well, to me, it was just kind of the next level. I started martial arts when I was 8 years old. Started in Taekwondo, did kickboxing. It was kind of the next aspect to challenge myself, not just to punch or kick, but to be able to have to punch, kick, grapple, knee, do it all, get out there and have it where somebody can get as close to a real fight situation as possible and see if what I've learned all the years works.
Tulsa was really a great place for this sport back in the early 2000s and 90s, really just because of the people here. I mean, you got all sorts of people who are willing to fight. I mean, it was a new thing and it was very popular at the time. Just made a great place for it.
Well, Tulsa is a great place for mixed martial arts, especially because of the huge grappling aspects of here. Tulsa, Oklahoma itself is a big wrestling community. And so it naturally attracted a lot of attention as far as that went, because again, mixed martial arts started off heavily as a jiu-jitsu and grappling type of sport. It was one of the first areas that allowed full contact mixed martial arts, I said back in the early and mid 90s. And so it had a kind of a leap on everybody else as far as getting mixed martial arts going, because of some of the big names that were involved in UFC and that kind of made their home in Tulsa. It allowed a lot of quality programs to take root in the Tulsa area and therefore produce a lot of good fighters.
The fan base here is phenomenal. Oklahomans love a good fight, always have. I think it stems from we love our contact sports, we love football, and we love wrestling.
A lot of people's first impression of mixed martial artists are a bunch of guys with faux hawks and tattoos and punks and things of that nature. But mixed martial arts has a wide variety of people, because now it's become a not just a fight club type of deal. It's a sport that's a mixed martial arts. So therefore, it has martial artists. You have guys that are bankers and construction workers, moms and soccer moms and dads, and kids of all different ages. Our program, we offer mixed martial arts from 4-year-olds all the way up into adults. So you get a lot of people that are just high-end athletes that are looking to compete at a high pace. Just same as you get in soccer or football or any of those type of things. They're normal people who have jobs and are good guys and good women. No longer, I think, is the stigma of just being, guys that are going to be fighting in a cage or fighting in a bar. Now it's just people that are high-end sports practitioners. So that's a mixed martial arts today, as a martial artist.